In this lesson, we're going to learn about a pip. What is a pip in Forex? A pip, or price interest point, are the units used to measure movement in a Forex pair. A Forex pip is usually equivalent to a one-digit movement in the fourth decimal place of a currency pair. So if GBP USD moves from 1.35361 to 1.35371, then it has moved a single pip. The decimal places shown after the pip are called fractional pips, or sometimes called pipettes. The exception to this rule is when the quote currency is listed in much smaller denominations, with the most notable example being the Japanese yen. Here, a movement in the second decimal place constitutes a single pip. So if Euro JPY moves from 106.452 to 106.462, again, it has moved a single pip. Traders often use pips to reference gains or losses. After you have executed a trade, then later on gained some pips and decided to close the trade and take some profits, it is useful to know how to determine the value of each pip. In this exercise, we will determine the value of each pip we have gained or lost. Determining pip value. The monetary value of each pip depends on three factors: the currency pair being traded, the size of the trade, and the exchange rate. Based on these factors, the fluctuation of even a single pip can have a significant impact on the value of the open position. Let's take an example. Assume that a 300,000 trade involving the USD-CAD pair is closed at 1.0568 after gaining 20 pips. Let's calculate the profit in US dollars by completing the following three steps. First, determine the number of quote currency, or CAD, each pip represents. Multiply the amount of the trade by one pip. So that's 300,000 multiplied by 0.0001, and that's equal to 30 CAD per pip. Second, calculate the number of base currency, or USD per pip. Divide the number of CAD per pip from step 1 by the closing exchange rate to arrive at the number of USD per pip. So that's 30 divided by 1.0568, and that's equal to 28.39 USD per pip. Finally, determine the total profit of the trade. Multiply the number of pips gained by the value of each pip in USD from step 2. To arrive at the total profit for the trade, that's 20, that's the pips gained, multiplied by 28.39, and that'll give us 567.80 USD profit. Let's take one more example. Assume that a 350,000 trade involving the Euro-GBP pair is closed at 0.8714 after gaining 29 pips. First, determine the number of quote currency, GBP, each pip represents. Multiply the amount of the trade by one pip. So that's 350,000 multiplied by 0.0001, and that's equal to 35 GBP per pip. Second, calculate the number of base currency, or euro per pip. Divide the number of GBP per pip from step 1 by the closing exchange rate to arrive at the number of euro per pip. So that's 35 divided by 0.8714, and that'll give us 40.17 euro per pip. Finally, determine the total profits of the trade. Multiply the number of pips gained by the value of each pip in euro from step 2 to arrive at the total profit for the trade. So that's 29, which is the pips gained, multiplied by 40.17, and that will give us 1,164.93 euros profit. I hope that you have gained a good understanding about pips and how to determine pip value in this section. Feel free to watch the video again to gain better understanding. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.